Choose your own adventure books have been a staple of young adult fiction since the late 1970s. Instead of a linear story that you would read from cover to cover, these books are essentially video games in print form, allowing you to make different decisions and reach multiple endings. The original series spanned over 150 books and also inspired some spin offs like the Dungeons and Dragons Endless Quest series. But did you know there were also some choose your own adventure books that are actually based on video games? Today on Sync, we're going to take a look at some video game themed choose your own adventure books. First, we're going to take a look at a series of books inspired by NES games that began in 1990. Worlds of Power. The main series consisted of 8 books: Blaster Master, Metal Gear, Ninja Gaiden, Castlevania II: Simon's Quest, Wizards and Warriors, Bionic Commando, Infiltrator, and Before Shadowgate. There were also 2 Junior Edition books in the series: Mega Man 2 and Bases Loaded 2, Second Season. Although the books were obviously inspired by games from Sunsoft, Konami, Capcom, and other publishers, they definitely took a lot of liberties with the subject material. The books feature very simplistic, easy-to-read stories, and omitted almost all violent scenes that appeared in the games. They even censored some of the cover art. If you notice here on Metal Gear's cover, Solid Snake is not holding a gun. So, I have owned this 4-pack and the Mega Man 2 book since I was a child, and I recently found Volume 5, Wizards and Warriors, at this year's Midwest Gaming Classic. Since the books are over 30 years old at this point, they're pretty hard to find, but I'm hoping I can eventually complete my set. Next up is the series that was published between 1991 and 1992, the Nintendo Adventure Book series. There were 12 books in the Nintendo Adventure Book series: Double Trouble, Leaping Lizards, Monster Mix-Up, Koopa Capers, Pipe Down, Doors to Doom, Dinosaur Dilemma, Flown the Koopa, The Crystal Trap, The Shadow Prince, Unjust Desserts, and Brain Drain. 10 of the 12 books featured characters from the Super Mario Bros. Games, and the later books also included characters from the then-new Super Mario World game. However, books 9 and 10 featured characters from The Legend of Zelda. These books were a bit more complex than traditional choose-your-own-adventure books, because in addition to making choices, you also had to solve some simple puzzles and keep track of inventory items and coins that would allow you to receive a final score when you reached an ending. The books also featured some interesting artwork, such as this bizarre Goomba Koopa hybrid that's seen in Volume 3. So I have owned all but one of these books since they originally released, so mine aren't in the best condition, unfortunately. But I finally found the final book to complete my set in 2010. It was the first time I ever visited a half-price bookstore, and the book I was missing, Pipe Down, happened to be on a display for $4.99. Finally, we have one more set of books released by Nintendo between 2001 and 2002, the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance series. This series consisted of just 4 books: The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons in the Game Boy Color series, as well as Super Mario Advance and Wario Land 4 in the Game Boy Advance series. These books were much simpler than the Nintendo Adventure books, but because these were direct adaptations of the games that inspired them, they included some strategies and tips in the storylines that could be utilized in the actual games. So, there we have it, 3 series of video game-themed choose-your-own-adventure books. Considering all of these books are over 20 or even 30 years old at this point, They might be pretty hard to track down nowadays, but they definitely make a great addition to any video game collection. So, do you already own any of these books, or are you thinking of adding some to your collection? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.